3% battery life. That's all I have left to find a job, a place to sleep, and maybe salvage what's left of my dignity. I'm hunched in the back seat of my Honda Civic, parked behind a 24-hour pharmacy, using their Wi-Fi to submit another desperate application. The screen glows in the darkness, illuminating the fog of my breath in the cold car. My name is Caitlin, and this isn't how I imagine my 30s would look. The phone buzzes, a notification from Instagram. My brother Scott's latest post, him and his wife Reese beaming in front of their new house. Mum and Dad are there too, all smiles, with our old family dog, Sophie, wagging her tail in the foreground. The caption reads, "Dreams do come true. Thanks, Mum and Dad, for helping make this possible." Blessed, that's our first-time homeowner. My hands shake as I zoom in on the image. It's a beautiful colonial, at least $450,000 worth of dream home. The same parents who told me 3 weeks ago they couldn't spare $500 to help me escape my abusive boyfriend just helped my brother buy a house. "We're stretched thin right now, honey," Mum had said, her voice crisp and dismissive over the phone. "Maybe if you'd been more careful with your choices." I remember standing in that sterile hospital hallway, whispering into my phone, trying to hide the bruises under my sleeve. "Mum, please, I just need enough for a deposit on an apartment. I can't go back there." "You always do this, Caitlin. Create drama, expect us to rescue you. Your brother never needed." I'd hung up then. That was the last real conversation we had. A car pulls into the parking lot, and I duck down, heart racing. It's just a teenager picking up a prescription, but these days, every shadow makes me flinch. Peyton could be anywhere. He's already tried tracking my phone once. My screen lights up again. A text from Mum. "Saw you viewed Scott's post. He worked hard for that house. Don't be jealous. It's not attractive." The battery indicator blinks red. 2% now. With trembling fingers, I type my final message to her. "Thank you for showing me exactly where I stand." I hit send and watch the message turn blue. Then I block her number, block Dad's, block Scott's. I open my wallet, $43 and some change. My entire life stuffed into 2 duffel bags in the trunk. But I have my laptop, my skills, and most importantly, my freedom. The phone dies with a quiet blip, and I toss it into the nearby dumpster. Let them wonder, let them worry, or don't. They've made it clear they won't. A memory surfaces, last Christmas, before everything fell apart. Scott bragging about his promotion, Mum touching his shoulder with pride. "You've always been so responsible," she'd said, while I sat quietly, hiding finger-shaped bruises under my festive sweater. Even then, they'd known something was wrong. They just chose not to see it. The night air is getting colder. I start the car, letting it run for a few minutes to warm up. The check engine light glows accusingly, another problem I can't afford to fix. But this car is all I have left. My home, my escape route, my last stand. I pull out my laptop, connecting to the pharmacy's Wi-Fi again. My fingers hover over the keyboard, then begin to type. Not another job application this time, but something else. A story. My story. "What happens when your family funds your abuser's enablers?" I write. "When they hand your brother the keys to his dream home while you sleep in a car?" I post it anonymously on Reddit, not expecting anything, just needing to scream into the void to make these words exist somewhere outside my head. The sun will rise soon. I need to move. Can't stay in one place too long. Peyton knows my habits, knows where I might go. But he doesn't know this version of me yet. The one who stops waiting for rescue. The one who saves herself. I put the car in drive, checking my rearview mirror one last time. In the distance, the pharmacy's sign glows like a lighthouse, marking the spot where I finally cut the last ties to my old life. Where I stopped being the family disappointment and became something else entirely. Something stronger. Something they'll never see coming. I pull out onto the empty street heading east, toward the sunrise, toward whatever comes next. Let them have their perfect family photos and their dream homes. I have something better now. I have nothing left to lose. You look like hell, Marissa says, pulling me into a fierce hug. Come inside before you freeze to death. I haven't showered in 3 days, and my clothes smell like the 24-hour gym where I've been sneaking in to wash up in the bathroom sink. But Marissa doesn't flinch. She just guides me into her tiny apartment, already pulling out blankets and setting water to boil. I saw your Reddit post, she says, handing me a steaming mug of tea. It's going viral, by the way. Over 20,000 upvotes last I checked. I sink onto her worn couch, letting the warmth seep into my frozen fingers. I didn't think anyone would care. Are you kidding? People are furious on your behalf. The comment section is on fire. My laptop sits heavy in my bag. For the past week, I've been working from coffee shops and library corners, taking whatever freelance writing gigs I can find. The car's check engine light finally gave up and died along with the heater. Tell me everything, Marissa says, settling beside me. Start with what happened after you left Peyton. The memories come in fragments, like shards of broken glass. He found out I was saving money to leave, went ballistic. I grabbed what I could and ran while he was at work. Been moving around ever since. And your parents really wouldn't help. They helped Scott instead. My laugh comes out bitter. $90,000 for his down payment, but they couldn't spare pocket change to keep their daughter off the streets. Marissa's phone buzzes. She glances at it, then does a double take. Caitlin, your post just got shared by Livestrong. They want to interview you about surviving domestic abuse. What? No, I can't. Yes, you can. She grabs my hand. Remember college, when everyone said you'd never make it as a writer? Look how that turned out. I did graduate, despite everyone's doubts. Landed good jobs too, before Peyton slowly isolated me, convinced me to quit, made me dependent. You can sleep here tonight, Marissa continues, and tomorrow we're setting you up with a proper workspace. My dining table is yours. I can't impose. You're not imposing, you're surviving, and you're going to do more than survive. She pulls up my Reddit post on her phone. Look at these comments. This story saved my life. I finally found the courage to leave. You're helping people just by telling the truth. My hands shake as I scroll through the responses. Thousands of stories like mine. People betrayed by the ones who should have protected them. Another media request just came in, Marissa says, checking her email. They're offering to pay for your story. For the first time in weeks, I feel something like hope flutter in my chest. How much? Enough to get you started somewhere new. She squeezes my shoulder. You always were a better writer than me. I open my laptop, the screen illuminating the dark room. My fingers hover over the keyboard, then begin to move. What are you writing now? Marissa asks. A follow-up post about what happens after you leave, the real story, not the sanitized version. I pause, thinking. About sleeping in your car and washing your hair in gas station bathrooms, about how freedom feels like fear before it feels like victory. They're going to love it. They're going to hate it, I correct her, because it's going to make them uncomfortable. It's going to make them look at their own families differently. My phone, a cheap prepaid model now, pings with another notification, another media request, then another. Your brother shared a new photo, Marissa says quietly, showing me her Instagram feed. Housewarming party, your parents are there. I don't look. Instead, I keep typing, letting the words flow like water breaking through a dam. Every click of the keys feels like another brick in the wall between my past and my future. You know what the worst part is? I say, not looking up from the screen. They'll never admit they were wrong. They'll tell everyone I abandoned the family, that I'm being dramatic. They'll never say, we failed her, when she needed us most. Marissa reads over my shoulder as I write. This is good, Caitlin, really good. The sun is rising outside her window, painting the room in shades of pink and gold. My tea has gone cold, but I don't care. For the first time since I left, my hands aren't shaking. A new message pops up in my inbox from someone named Mohammed, a literary agent. I think, he writes, a lot of people need to hear your voice. Want to talk? I look at Marissa, who's already grinning. Well, she asks. I hit reply and begin to type. Tell me about your ideal reader, Mohammed says, leaning back in his ergonomic office chair. Who are you writing this book for? I'm sitting in his downtown office, wearing the only business casual outfit I own, bought from a thrift store yesterday. 6 months have passed since that night in Marissa's apartment. My viral posts have turned into speaking engagements, coaching sessions, and now a book deal. I'm writing for the woman sleeping in her car tonight, I answer. The one whose family told her she's overreacting. The one who thinks she'll never make it. Mohammed nods, sliding the contract across his desk. That's exactly why we want this book. Your story isn't just about abuse. It's about betrayal, resilience, and redemption. I sign my name, watching the ink dry. My first advance check sits next to it. More money than I've ever seen at once. Your social media numbers are exploding, he continues, pulling up analytics on his screen. The coaching program you launched last month already has a waiting list. My phone buzzes. Another client booking. I've been helping women rebuild their lives after leaving abusive situations. The irony isn't lost on me. Have you heard from your family? Mohammed asks carefully. They tried reaching out when the first article went viral. I check my calendar. 3 podcast interviews scheduled for next week. I didn't respond. Good, keep that energy for the book. Later that evening, I'm viewing apartments with Taya, my new assistant. She's showing me listings in upscale neighbourhoods, places I never dreamed I could afford before. This one has great natural light, she says, opening curtains in a penthouse suite. Perfect for your video calls. I walk to the window, looking out over the city. My bank account just hit 6 figures, my first $60,000 a month from coaching and speaking fees. The advance check will double that. There's another property I want to show you, Taya says, scrolling through her phone. It's different. She pulls up a listing that makes my heart stop. A stunning modern house 2 doors down from Scott's, listed at $1.1 million. It just hit the market, she continues. The owner's relocating overseas. They're motivated to sell. I stare at the photos. The house is everything Scott's isn't. Sleek, contemporary, with floor-to-ceiling windows and a meditation garden. It's a power move, a statement. It's perfect, I whisper. You sure? It's in their neighbourhood. Exactly. I pull up my banking app, make an offer, full asking price, all cash. Taya's eyes widen. You want to? Show them exactly what they missed out on? Yes. I hand her my phone. Do it now, before I change my mind. That night, I attend my weekly therapy session with Dr. Sarah. We've been working through the trauma, the abandonment, the anger. How does it feel? She asks. This success? Surreal. I fidget with my sleeve, an old habit. Sometimes I wake up thinking I'm back in that car. And the house? Buying it so close to your family? What's that about? I consider her question. Control, maybe, or proving something. To them or to yourself. Before I can answer, my phone lights up. Taya's message. Offer accepted. Congratulations on your new home. Dr. Sarah watches my expression change. What are you thinking right now? I'm thinking about karma, I reply, about how sometimes it needs a little help. The next morning, I stand in my soon-to-be home, footsteps echoing off empty walls. Through the front windows, I can see Scott's house, a swing set in his backyard, Mum's car in his driveway. Taya joins me, tablet in hand. We should plan a housewarming. No, I smile, an idea forming. A brunch, family only. Are you sure that's wise? I walk to the kitchen, all marble and stainless steel. Bigger than Scott's. Better. Send formal invitations. Make them elegant, expensive. Don't put my name, just the address and date. They might not come. Oh, they'll come. I run my hand along the cool counter. Mum never could resist a mystery. And Scott will want to know who bought the best house in his neighbourhood. Taya starts typing. What should the invitation say? You are cordially invited to celebrate new beginnings, I dictate. Dress for success. She looks up. That's a little petty, maybe. I walk to the windows again, watching a car pull into Scott's driveway. Mum, probably bringing him dinner, like she always did. But some things are worth being petty about. I turn away from the window, from the past it represents. This house isn't just a home, it's a fortress, a declaration, a beginning. Oh, send the invitations, I tell Taya. It's time for a family reunion. The invitations arrive at their homes on a Tuesday, cream-coloured cardstock in silver envelopes. I track the delivery notifications on my phone, imagining their reactions. Your mother called, Taya announces, walking into my home office. 3 times in the last hour. Right on schedule. I check my new phone, the one with my old number that I recently reactivated just for this. 5 missed calls, 2 voicemails. I press play on the first one. Caitlin, honey, we received an invitation. Are you behind this? Please call us back. Mum's voice is sugary sweet, like it always is when she wants something. The second message is more direct. We heard you've been doing okay for yourself. Your father and I would love to catch up. They heard, I laugh, deleting the messages. More like they've been secretly following my success while pretending I don't exist. Taya checks her tablet. Scott and Reese RSVP'd, yes. Your parents too. Of course they did. I walk through my nearly furnished house, checking details. They're dying to know how I afforded this place. The house has been transformed over the past week. Every room is a masterpiece of modern design, each detail carefully chosen to tell a story of success. The kitchen gleams with professional appliances. The living room features original artwork. My home office, visible from the front windows, displays my book cover, mock-up and speaking engagement posters. The caterers are confirmed for Sunday, Taya continues. Menu includes everything you requested. Champagne will be flowing. Perfect! I pause at the window, watching Scott's wife Reese load their son into her SUV. Have you seen the neighbourhood gossip? Everyone's talking. Theories range from lottery winner to secret tech millionaire. Taya smirks. No one's guessed self-made success story yet. My phone buzzes again. Scott this time, trying a different approach. Hey sis, long time. Mum's pretty worked up about this brunch thing. What's going on? I leave it unread. Let them wonder. Let them worry. The days tick by, and I rehearse nothing. My revenge isn't in words. It's in the marble countertops, the view from my office, the success they can't deny. It's in the life I built while they pretended I didn't exist. Sunday morning arrives bright and clear. Taya supervises the caterers while I get ready, choosing a simple black dress that screams quiet money. Security's in place, she reminds me, just in case Peyton somehow... He won't, I interrupt. He's too busy dealing with the lawsuits from his other victims who came forward after my story broke. The doorbell chimes at exactly 11 a.m. I check the security camera, Mum and Dad standing awkwardly on my front steps. Mum's clutching her designer purse like a shield. Dad's tugging at his collar. Ready? Taya asks. I take a deep breath, smoothing my dress. I've been ready for 2 years. The heavy double doors swing open. Mum's practiced smile freezes on her face. Dad's mouth actually drops open. "Caitlin," Mum whispers. "Welcome to my home," I say, stepping aside to let them in. "Please, come see what your daughter built, without any help at all." They walk in slowly, taking in the soaring ceilings, the expensive art, the obvious signs of wealth. Mum's knuckles are white around her purse strap. "This is yours," Dad manages. "Every square foot." I lead them toward the kitchen, where champagne flutes await. Paid in cash, actually. No mortgages needed. The doorbell rings again. Scott and Reese, right on time. Their faces match our parents when they see me. "Holy shit," Scott breathes. "Language," Mum snaps automatically, then catches herself. I guide them all to the dining room, where a feast awaits. Taya pours champagne with professional precision. Through the windows, they can see their own homes, smaller, older, less impressive. "A toast," I say, raising my glass, "to family." They lift their glasses mechanically, still staring around in shock. Reese finds her voice first. "We had no idea you were so successful," she says. "What exactly do you do?" I smile, taking a small sip. "I help people rebuild their lives after tragedy, after betrayal, after their families fail them." Mum's champagne sloshes in her shaking glass. "Caitlin, surely you understand we—" "More mimosas," I interrupt smoothly. "Taya, would you mind?" The brunch proceeds like a carefully choreographed dance. They ask probing questions. I give vague answers. They hint at reconciliation. I change the subject. With each passing minute, the weight of what they lost becomes clearer. The doorbell rings one final time. I check my watch, right on schedule. "Excuse me," I say, standing. "That would be my photographer. We're doing a piece for Business Insider about success after survival." I leave them sitting there, marinating in their choices, and go to greet the next act in my carefully planned production. Let the real show begin. The photographer, Sarah, sets up in my home office while my family watches from the dining room. Their mimosas sit untouched, condensation beading on the crystal. "The lighting in here is perfect," Sarah says loudly enough for them to hear. "No wonder your video interviews do so well." Mum clears her throat. "Video interviews? Oh, you haven't seen them?" I turn, feigning surprise. "I'm sure you can find them online. My TEDx talk has over 2 million views now." Scott pulls out his phone, fingers moving rapidly. I watch his face as he finds it. Me on stage, telling my story to a packed auditorium. His expression darkens when he sees the view count. "You talk about us?" Dad asks, voice tight. "I talk about survival," I correct him. "About rebuilding when the people who should support you don't." Sarah snaps a few test shots. "Should we include the wall with your book cover?" "Book?" Mum's voice rises an octave. I gesture to the framed mock-up. "Coming out next month. It's already hit the pre-order bestseller list." Reese stands abruptly, walking to examine the cover. "From Car to Castle, a memoir of rising from rock bottom by Caitlin W." She turns to me. "Is this why you bought this house? To show off?" "No," I say calmly. "I bought it because I loved the afternoon light. Isn't that right, Scott? Your house doesn't quite catch it the same way." He flushes red. "Listen, if this is about the money Mum and Dad gave us—" $90,000, I cut in. "For your down payment, while I was sleeping in my car." "Scott needed a fresh start," Mum interjects. "He had a family to think about." "And I needed safety," I snap, my composure cracking slightly. "I needed parents who cared more about their daughter's life than their son's comfort." Sarah quietly slips out, sensing the tension. Taya appears with fresh drinks, but no one reaches for them. "You always make everything so dramatic," Mum sighs. If you just what? Stayed with Peyton, let him finish what he started. Dad shifts uncomfortably. We didn't know it was that bad. You didn't want to know. I walk to the window, looking out at their houses. But that's not even the worst part, is it? Tell me about the foundation repairs, Scott. The room goes deadly quiet. Reese's face drains of colour. What about them? Scott asks carefully. See the funny thing about construction permits? They're public record, including the cost. I turn back to face them. Another $50,000 from Mom and Dad, which means they didn't give you $90,000 for your down payment. They gave you $140,000. Mum's champagne glass slips from her hand, shattering on the marble floor. Taya appears instantly with a dustpan. We had the money, I continue, my voice steady. You had it all along. You just decided I wasn't worth saving. That's not fair, Scott protests. My foundation was literally crumbling. So was I. The words echo off the high ceilings. I was falling apart in a hospital room, begging for help, and you all went home to plan Scott's housewarming party. Dad stands, reaching for me. Sweetheart. Don't. I step back. Don't pretend to care now that I'm successful. Don't act like you're proud when you're just shocked. We are proud, Mom insists. We always knew you'd land on your feet. No, I laugh bitterly. You hoped I would fail. You expected me to come crawling back, to admit you were right. Instead, I built this. I gesture around us. Without you, despite you. Scott's phone pings. He's still on my TEDx page. 2.1 million views now, he mutters. Your numbers must be wrong about the money, Reese says quickly. There's no way. I have copies of everything, I interrupt. Every transfer, every permit, every time they chose you over me. Would you like to see them? The silence is deafening. Outside, a car door slams, probably neighbours watching the drama unfold. Let them watch. Why did you invite us here? Dad finally asks. Because success isn't enough. I walk to my desk, pulling out a folder. I wanted you to see exactly what you lost, what you threw away when you decided I wasn't worth saving. I hand each of them a document. They read in silence, faces paling. This is, Mum's hands shake, my latest bank statement, my company's quarterly earnings, and yes, the deed to this house, paid in full. I smile, but there's no warmth in it. I thought you should know what betting against me cost you. Cost us? Scott looks up confused. Check the last page. I walk to the door holding it open. It's my will. You're not in it, any of you. Now, I believe brunch is over. They file out slowly, stunned. As the door closes behind them, I hear Mum start to cry, but I don't feel victorious, just empty. And somehow, that feels right too. You need to see this, Marissa says, bursting into my home office 3 days after the brunch. She's holding her tablet like it contains classified documents. What now? I'm reviewing final proofs for my book, red pen in hand. Someone leaked the permit records for Scott's house repairs. They're all over social media. She turns the tablet toward me. The whole story is blowing up. I scan the posts, screenshots of public records, bank transfers, all the evidence I'd gathered. I didn't leak this. No, but Reese did. Marissa pulls up another screen. She's been posting cryptic messages about family secrets and the truth coming out. People connected the dots to your TEDx talk. My phone starts buzzing. Mohammed calling. I put him on speaker. The publisher wants to move up the release date, he says without preamble. This is perfect timing. The internet is obsessed with your story. I scroll through Twitter, watching my name trend. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. Are you kidding? Marissa exclaims. This is better than anything we could have planned. Look at the comments. The responses are overwhelming. People sharing similar stories of family betrayal, questions about how I rebuilt my life, demands for more details. Write about it, Mohammed urges. Right now while it's hot, a blog post, something raw and real. I open my laptop, fingers hovering over the keys. The words come in a rush. What's the price of family loyalty? In my case, it was exactly $140,000, the amount my parents gave my brother, while telling me they couldn't spare $500 to help me escape abuse. But the real cost? That's still being calculated. Marissa reads over my shoulder as I type. This is going to destroy them. They destroyed themselves, I reply, still writing. I'm just providing the receipts. The post goes live an hour later. Within minutes, it's viral. My phone explodes with notifications, interview requests, speaking invitations, book pre-orders skyrocketing. Your father sent an email, Taya announces, walking in with coffee. Want me to read it? I nod, continuing to type responses to comments. We didn't know it was that bad, she reads. Please, can we talk? We made a terrible mistake. 2 years too late, I mutter. Marissa squeezes my shoulder. Are you okay? Before I can answer, my security system chimes. Scott's at my front door. Don't answer it, Marissa says quickly, but I'm already standing. No, let him in. I want to hear this. Scott looks terrible, unshaven, eyes red. Reese left, he blurts out as soon as I open the door. Took our son to her mother's. That sounds like a you problem. She saw the records, the transfers, started asking questions about what kind of people we are. He runs a hand through his dishevelled hair. Mum and Dad mortgaged their retirement for my house. Did you know that? I know everything, I reply coldly. I always did. I just needed the world to know too. They might lose their house because of this going public. Their reputation. Their reputation? I laugh sharply. What about my life? What about the nights I spent freezing in my car, terrified Peyton would find me? I'm sorry, he whispers. I should have helped you. But you didn't. None of you did. You took their money and looked the other way. My phone buzzes again. Another media request. My post has been shared over 50,000 times now. What do you want? Scott asks desperately. Money! I'll sell the house, pay you back. I don't want your money. I step back from the door. I want you to live with what you did. I want Mum and Dad to face themselves in the mirror every morning. I want you all to understand exactly what you threw away. We're still family. No, I cut him off. We're not. Family doesn't let families sleep in cars while funding their golden child's dream home. Family doesn't enable abuse by staying neutral. My security system chimes again. Mum and Dad pulling into my driveway. Perfect timing, I say, watching them approach. Now you can all hear this together. They rush up my front steps, Mom already crying. Please let us explain. There's nothing to explain. I stand in my doorway, successful and untouchable. The truth is already out there. The whole world can see what you did. We can fix this, Dad pleads. No, I reply simply. You can't, and that's the point. I close the door on their protests, their excuses, their too late apologies. Through the window, I watch them stand there, broken and exposed, finally understanding the weight of their choices. My phone buzzes one last time. Another notification. My post has gone international. The truth, as they say, will set you free. But first, it burns everything to the ground. Your book just hit #1 on pre-orders, Mohammed announces during our video call. The publisher wants to double the initial print run. I'm sitting in my home office, watching movers carry boxes out of Scott's house through the window. Reese filed for divorce last week. Mum and Dad haven't shown their faces in days. They're moving? Mohammed asks, following my distracted gaze. Reese got a job offer in Seattle, taking their son with her. I turn back to the screen. Scott's house is on the market. How does that make you feel? Nothing? I shrug. I feel nothing. But that's not entirely true. The emptiness has been replaced by something else. Not satisfaction exactly, but a quiet certainty. like watching dominoes fall exactly as planned. My phone lights up. A text from Dad. Please meet us. One last time. We need to tell you something. I show the message to Mohammed. He raises an eyebrow. Are you going to? Yes, I decide, but on my terms, in my house. They arrive that evening, Mom, Dad, and Scott. They look smaller somehow, deflated. Mum's designer purse is missing, replaced by a simple canvas bag. Dad's wearing the same shirt he had on at brunch. Talk, I say, once they're seated in my living room. Mum pulls out a folder, old, worn at the edges. We need to show you something about the money. I've seen the records. Not these, Dad interrupts. These are different. Inside the folder are medical bills, dozens of them dating back to my childhood. My name is on every one. You were sick, Mum says softly. So sick for years. The insurance wouldn't cover everything. I remember fragments, hospitals, tests, specialists. But I'd been too young to understand. We spent everything, Dad continues. Our savings, our retirement fund. By the time you were 12, we were drowning in debt. What does this have to do with? We promised ourselves, Mum cuts in, that we'd never let money destroy our children's futures again when Scott needed help. You chose him, I finish, because you'd already spent too much on me. We were wrong, Dad whispers. So terribly wrong. We let our fear of debt, of hospitals, of losing everything again, we let it blind us. Scott hasn't spoken yet. He's staring at the bills, hands shaking. I never knew, he says, about any of this. Because they protected you, I reply. They always protected you. We thought we were being strong, Mum says. Responsible, but we were just being cowards. I pick up one of the bills, $43,000 for a week-long hospital stay when I was 9. So you punished me for being sick, for costing you too much as a child? No. Dad stands up. We punished ourselves. We became so focused on never being financially vulnerable again that we lost sight of what really mattered. Your safety, Mum adds. Your life. We failed you, Caitlin. Completely and utterly failed you. The room falls silent except for the sound of Scott's movers next door, carrying out pieces of his broken life. Do you know what the worst part is? I finally say. I would have understood if you'd just told me the truth, if you'd said, we can't help because we already spent everything saving your life once. I would have understood. Would you have? Scott asks quietly. Yes, because that would have been about love, about sacrifice. Instead, you made it about judgment, about me being dramatic, attention-seeking, less worthy than Golden Boy here. Mum starts to cry, real tears this time, not the manipulative ones from before. We can't fix this, Dad says. We know that. But we needed you to know. It was never because we loved you less. I walk to my window, watching the moving truck pull away from Scott's house. You're right. You can't fix this, but thank you for finally telling me the truth. What happens now? Scott asks. Now? I turn back to them. Now you leave. You live with your choices, just like I lived with them. You watch me succeed from a distance, just like I watched you get everything I needed. And us? Mum gestures between us. Will we ever? I don't know, I answer honestly. Maybe someday, but not today. They stand slowly, understanding the dismissal. At the door, Dad pauses. We're proud of you, he says. Not because of all this. He gestures at my house. But because you survived us. Because you're stronger than we ever were. I don't answer. Just close the door behind them, listening to their footsteps fade. The truth doesn't heal everything. Sometimes it just helps you understand why things had to break. The morning sun streams through my office windows as I finish recording another podcast episode. Through the glass, I can see the sold sign on Scott's empty house. A young couple toured it yesterday. She's a domestic violence counsellor. He's a social worker. Something about that feels right. That was powerful, Marissa says, removing her headphones. She's been hosting my podcast since its launch. The part about forgiveness not being mandatory, people need to hear that. Speaking of which, Taya appears in the doorway. Your mother left these at the gate. She hands me a stack of envelopes. Every card, every letter I sent them during those desperate months, unopened. On top is a new note in Mom's handwriting. We should have read these. We should have listened. What are you going to do with them? Marissa asks. Use them. I place them carefully in my desk drawer. For the women's shelter. The shelter was my latest project, converting Scott's old house into a safe haven for abuse survivors. The irony isn't lost on anyone. My phone buzzes, a text from Mohammed. Today's the day, ready? Before I can respond, the doorbell rings. Taya checks the security camera and nods. They're here. I walk to the front door, opening it to reveal a group of women. All ages, all backgrounds, all carrying small bags and uncertain expressions. Welcome to your temporary home, I say, stepping aside to let them in. I'm Caitlin. One woman stops, recognition flooding her face. You wrote that viral post about your family. Yes, and now I'm turning my brother's old house into your new beginning. They follow me through the connecting gate between the properties. The house has been transformed. Security systems installed, bedrooms furnished, kitchens stocked. A fresh start built on the ashes of my family's failures. Each of you will have your own space, I explain, showing them around. Plus access to counselling, job training, legal aid, everything I didn't have. Why are you doing this? Another woman asks quietly. Because success means nothing if we don't use it to help others survive. I hand out house keys. And because sometimes the best revenge is making sure no one else goes through what you did. Back in my house, Marissa is setting up for a group coaching session. Did you see the reviews for your book? I glance at my phone. 5 stars across the board. The top comment reads, "This book saved my life. It gave me courage to leave." Speaking of courage, Taya points out my window. A familiar car pulls into my parents' driveway. Dad steps out, helping Mum carry groceries. They look older now, humbled. They pause when they see me watching, but don't wave or call out. Instead, Mum simply nods, a small gesture of respect, of understanding. They're learning, Marissa observes. They're trying, I correct her. It's not the same thing. My laptop pings. An email from Reese. Scott's in therapy, finally. Thank you for breaking what needed to be broken. The afternoon sun shifts, casting long shadows across both properties. In Scott's old house, my new shelter, I hear women laughing, perhaps for the first time in months, the sound of healing, of hope. Your next coaching group is here, Taya announces. I walk into my living room where 12 women wait. Some I recognise from their viral social media responses to my story. Others found me through the shelter, all of them carrying wounds similar to mine. Before we start, I say, taking my seat, I want you to understand something. This isn't just about survival, it's about thriving. It's about building something so powerful that those who hurt you have to live in its shadow. Like buying your brother's neighbour's house? One woman asks with a slight smile. Like turning pain into purpose, I reply. Like making sure your rock bottom becomes someone else's stepping stone. Through the window, I watch the shelter residents exploring their new home. In my driveway, more women arrive for the evening support group. My phone buzzes with messages from others seeking help, seeking hope. This is what winning really looks like. Not the house or the money or the revenge, but the ripple effect of resilience, the power of turning Look what you did to me into look what I did despite you. I don't know if karma is real, but I do know this. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about destroying those who hurt you. It's about building something so beautiful from the wreckage that they have to live with the weight of what they lost. And that's a revenge I can live with.